I'm going to be talking today about Mangrove Coast Collaborative, which is what we've affectionately call our project, our Science Collaborative grant, which began in November of 2020. I'd like to give a shout out to the Science Collaborative for the graphic design we worked on this past spring. So we have a logo now for the joint collaborative between Hobos Bay as the lead reserve and Rookery Bay. So the idea for this science collaborative, understanding how mangrove degradation is impacted by storms and understanding the recovery from it, came out of a capacity building grant in 2019. And we started then early on kind of figuring out from stakeholders in both groups around both reserves, kind of what they saw on the ground, as well as what they considered impacts to the ecosystem services. Our stakeholders include the community surrounding both reserves, as well as federal and state managing entities. And so these are kind of the proximate boundaries of where we're gonna be working in both Puerto Rico here on the right and in South Florida on the left. Another kind of impetus for this was in 2017, both reserves were hit by hurricanes. And so since that time, we've seen both damage and recovery. So immediate impacts from Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico in the Mar Negro, saw a lot of mangrove mortality. But both reserves had pre-existing areas of hydrologic degradation, either from roads or cut off from tidal flow. And the thought was that recovery from storms, such as Hurricane Irma and Maria, will depend on kind of pre-existing anthropogenic impacts to both sites. So we came with this idea that this combination of climatic influences and anthropogenic drivers will lead to degraded conditions in the mangrove ecosystem, ultimately impacting the ecosystem services provided. We want to understand not only these things, but where management either can come before the degradation happens or after the degradation, to kind of step in and change both of those arrows. Our project approach and anticipated products is basically, we split up into kind of 4 tasks, each of which are kind of headed up by a technical lead. We have a mapping, storm damage and recovery maps that will be derived from satellite imagery. And this is building off a 2019 Catalyst grant in Rookery Bay to identify areas of greatest vulnerability across both reserves. Products from that will be used to help identify and strategize where to collect on the ground assessments of metrics of mangrove condition in our task 2, to look at the driver relationships between cause and effect of either recovery or lack of recovery in mangroves. We'll also be building models to kind of model not only the hypothesis of what we think is happening there, but then use that model in community assessments of ecosystem services in the next task of the project, head by Sarah Mason at Duke. And then finally, that will lead into guiding resource managers in a creation of a decision-making framework to translate these kind of natural and social science findings into actions. We have 3 project advisory committees, a local one at Rookery Bay, and a local one at Hobos Bay, and a technical committee. And we meet 3 times a year. They provide both feedback and input on the approach that we're taking and the products.